If it sounds good, just say.
Oh, we're live?
If it, yeah, we're fucking live. Yeah, happy Halloween. Happy goddamn Halloween.
Play the music, motherfucker.
It's not Halloween yet.
We're doing the pre-show. You want some pre-show on your chest?
It's almost time, kids. The clock is ticking. Be in front of your TV sets for the horror-thon. And remember the big giveaway at 9. Don't miss it. And don't forget to wear your masks. The clock is ticking. It's almost time.
Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
All right. With that, welcome back to the M25 Show. My name's Albert.
My name is Eddie.
And I'm Steve. And Eddie, I'm going to keep my mouth right here the whole show.
You do that.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to keep it right here.
All right.
I apologize for everybody listening before the show to get to see how we really are with each other. But
listen to the podcast. You'll hear more.
This is how we really are with each other. So if anybody thinks that we're good and we get along, we don't. We don't get along at all.
Hey, here's the thing. We apologize to the audience, but I know there's one member out there who's like smiling ear to ear. Look at them. They're fighting again.
Oh.
Is that me?
No. I don't know whether to say somebody's friend or I can't even say.
Has that person already put in their 8,000 word essay on the comments?
Nope.
Okay. Maybe they're running a little behind in that texting. So
you see, Eddie, what you started?
I didn't start nothing. What are you guys talking about?
Well, you started it all.
Yeah, Eddie's the problem for everything.
Unbelievable.
I guess I don't even want to waste time on it no more. It's just I think that's what they want. He wants.
He wants to
turn it into his show. We should change the name of the show.
Double D.
Oh,
no. Double D 25.
Come on, that's not nice. Double D 25.
Who are we talking about? We're talking about me, I guess.
No, we're talking about. It doesn't matter. Anyway, happy Halloween, Eddie. Do you have anything to say to any admirers out there that you may have?
No, just happy Halloween. Enjoy the weekend.
All right. Well, you guys take care, and we'll see you. We'll see you next week.
Hey, best show ever.
Yeah.
Already?
Over already. Well, before our guest comes on, Eddie, why don't you tell everybody how you use natural wonders on your face and hair?
Look how pretty it looks.
Yeah, look at it with the haircut. You get a haircut like every week, huh?
Twice a week.
That's what natural. That's what natural wonders does to your hair, man. It makes it grow too fast. Eddie has to go twice a week.
There you go. If you got hair loss problems, use natural wonders, and you'll get a haircut 2 times a week, like Eddie over here.
Okay, Steve's comments have not been approved by the FDA.
What? I'm just going by Eddie's.
A one-man testimonial.
Go get yourself some natural wonders. They have skin lotion, lotion for the skin.
Mm-hmm.
They have hair products, beauty products for men and women. Good products. I use them. Alyssa uses them. And if you go to their website, it's Natural Wonders.
I use it too, Eddie.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot, Steve.
Yeah, the boss came over from Natural Wonders and he gave me a thing of lotion because my hands are all cracked, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me a big tube
Natural
of
Wonders lube,
cocoa butter and vitamin E, all that stuff, and
all that good stuff. That's
good. Yeah, check it out. And if you use a promo code M25 Show, you get 25% off your entire purchase.
The M25 Show. One word. Squish it all together.
The M25 Show, Eddie.
Easiest way, go to the M25show.com and hit the sponsors link. You'll see it right there at top.
Mm-hmm.
See their links, see the code. Go get it. Go get yourself all the good stuff.
You'll see it all right there. Natural wonders.
All right. Well, it's another Halloween. We're still here. And
doing this for us 8 or 7.
I don't know. Is it? You should know. You keep tabs on all that stuff, don't you?
Actually,
Have you
number
seen
9.
the new Halloween movie?
Halloween number 9 for us.
So this is the 9th Halloween we've done this?
You've seen the movie? The new one?
What, of our show?
No,
Halloween
the movie.
ends.
Oh, I'm sorry. When we're talking about a show, Eddie jumps into different topics, and I got to
No, I'm asking if you've seen the Halloween.
I sure have.
Oh, is it good?
Wait a minute. Eddie, hold on 1 second. Alberto, am I doing okay? I just want to make sure.
Oh, jeez.
I want to stay. See this box right here? I cannot go. I'm not going to. That's what the boxes are for.
Actually, that's one thing. But what if you like just? What if I just slid over? I brought my microphone, slid way over here, and you say that I look good for YouTube? No. Brother.
Well, that's a whole different story because I'm trying to fix it. See, and then if you're going to go back to the things I didn't do,
you're doing a good job.
All right. See how he likes to throw stuff that I got to listen, and I can't listen if we haven't done it yet. So now that we've done it,
yeah,
I'll go today after the show, and I'll listen and go.
Okay,
oh,
thank you.
It sounds good.
Finally, episode 350. You're finally going to listen.
Well, you know what? If I don't want to listen, don't make me.
Just stay in the box, Steve. Stay in your lane.
Don't make me.
Stay in your lane.
You stay in your lane, Eddie. Damn.
There's somebody smiling ear to ear right now. Look at it's almost over. The show's gonna end. Yeah, finally they're gonna end. Yeah, watch today.
Oh, now you saying he's a butthead?
Yeah. No. But what was that?
What are you guys talking about?
That was him. He was a butthead.
Alyssa?
We're talking.
No.
I think Alberto's talking about your friend. I don't know. You see, whenever I say your friend to anybody, everybody gets mad. I don't know why.
You know what?
Nobody has friends.
At this point, he's not his friend. He's nobody's friend now. Not of these 3 people.
Well,
maybe
hopefully
Alyssa still has a chance, but
yeah, Alyssa is out today. She's sick, and hopefully she's back next week. And
she'll get a letter. I saw you weren't on the show. I guess you finally got enough of Steve too. You want to do a show with me?
Oh, here we go. What letter? What letter are you talking about?
Yeah, what letter are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Letter, email, comment.
Oh, I have no idea what's going on, Eddie. I have no idea.
Me neither.
Sure you do. Okay.
I don't even know. I'm just doing
I'm
a weekly show.
I'm clairvoyant here. Okay, I know stuff.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do you know about?
I see the future.
Do you know about ghosts and creatures and all that and big feet? No. Well, that's funny that you don't, but we have somebody that does.
I can see the future and I can see the past that I didn't see.
Well, I think you may have a chance to do a duo podcast with somebody that's really interested in doing a podcast with you guys. If you want, I could give them a call, set it up. You know, the three amigos, you guys could do it.
I don't think that person's taking your calls anymore.
I won't be offended. I won't.
Ghost stories?
Yes. Speaking of ghost stories, our guest is in the waiting room, and we're going to bring him out. He's a paranormal investigator and author, and he was very cool. I just messaged him a couple days ago, Eddie. And he was very cool as agreeing to come on in short notice. So I'm pretty excited. You know, we never had somebody who does just this. You know, we had somebody come on before who kind of dabbled in it a little bit, you know, and we were kind of like curious, like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. But for somebody who actually, this is what they do.
Paranormal investigator?
Investigator, yeah. I hope I'm labeling it right. I'm sure he'll let us know when he comes in. But yes, and he's also, I think we're gonna ask him. I believe he has a new book out too, and he'll tell us about that. And let's bring him out. If anybody could tell us, it's him. Mm-hmm. So let's bring out Dave Spinks. Hello, Dave.
Hey guys, what's happening?
How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Busy. Of course, this time of year is my busiest time of year. You know.
So
Halloween.
yeah,
Hey, when you first came on here, did you get bad vibes
on the show,
for us? Yeah.
no, not at all.
Some
about
people,
what
some
about the
people think we're
ghosts?
some people think we're creatures. So I just want to make sure that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
aliens maybe.
maybe. Yes. Some people think we're very cruel creatures, and they love watching us and talking.
They love
Hey man,
watching
you
us
never
be cruel
know. I
to
think
each
we're
other.
all a little bit ET, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So,
Probably. So, Dave, first of all, I want to talk about you got a new book out. I want to get that up front. Is that correct? Do you have a new book?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called The West Virginia Dog Man. So it's all about sightings, encounters, and some of the investigations I've done in the Mountain State here on werewolves and dogmen that people have encountered here in the Mountain State of West Virginia. So yeah, it's first time anyone's ever done a book in the state solely on werewolves and dogman sightings and encounters in West Virginia. So I'm kind of proud of that aspect of it. And it's just one of the many things that I do as far as being an investigator, in the paranormal and supernatural realms.
A dog. Wait a minute. A dog man? Is that what you said? A dog? What is that?
Yeah, it's basically a werewolf. It's more geared towards someone that's like a shapeshifter or something more or less. There's so many different aspects to werewolves and dogman and hellhounds and everything else when it comes to wolves and the supernatural. So it's kind of hard to for the average person to understand the many differences of these creatures that are out there. There's Native American legends about it. There's the European werewolf type of legends that we all know and love, the Hollywood werewolf stories. And then there's hellhounds. And in West Virginia, what's fascinating is we have several different wolf type creatures that go by different names, like the snarly owl and the white thing and different things like that. And that's what I talk about in the book a lot, the differences between the types of creatures and some of the history and then some of the historical sightings that occurred here in West Virginia in the 1930s and 40s. And then my own investigations involved most of my books, except for my cookbook, because I love to cook and eat. So I did a fun book called Cooking with Cryptids as well. But all my books, other than that, are based off my investigations over 30 years of doing this. I'm also ex-military and retired federal law enforcement officer as well.
Oh, wow. So, okay, now that we talked a little bit about your books, why don't you tell everybody what your title is and how this all happened?
Well, as with many folks that are investigators in the paranormal, I had my own encounters when I was a kid, and that set me on my path to do this, so to speak. And over the years, I became fascinated with it and had several more encounters, as one would imagine when you investigate these things. When you go out looking for it, oftentimes you have more encounters, more sightings, and different things happen to you. And I'll tell you guys, I'm so into this stuff. Like I own my own haunted location, a notorious haunted house in Indiana called Willow's Weep. I wrote a book about that house too. And I also have my own paranormal store called Dave Spinks World of Weird, 8,000 square feet of paranormal madness, as I like to call it, with my partner and my girlfriend, Serenity Jenny, who's also a psychic medium, and she does the whole metaphysical side of things. So we have a store together that's combined. There's nothing else really like it in the whole country, if not the world, doing what we're doing there. So that's how deep I am into the whole thing with paranormal investigating and the supernatural realm. So, and I've also been on numerous television shows about it, various aspects, the Mothman and hauntings. I've been on, if you go to my website, you'll see all the different shows I've been on. I've been in numerous documentaries about various aspects of the paranormal. And really what started me in this was me and my grandfather were on one of our regular fishing trips here in West Virginia, and then we had a whole Bigfoot encounter. And this thing threw big rocks at us from the other side of the river, and it really changed my life. And that's why I do what I do today. And I've told that story many, many times
also on a TV show called Terror in the Woods and These Woods Are Haunted. Same show, different name. I don't know what happened with that, but it was on multiple different networks. But that's what really set me on my path for this, because I wanted to know answers. And to me, I do what I do because it's three of man's greatest unanswered questions. Are there unknown creatures walking among us? What happens to us when we die? And are we alone in the universe? And for me, it fascinates me, and it's not always about, am I going to find a piece of the puzzle? It's the journey getting there. It's the history of these things. It's these old buildings and all the crazy things that have happened in these places. And then the investigation part, I started writing books about my investigations once I retired from law enforcement, and then the TV people got a hold of them, and it kind of went crazy after that. And I used to do a ton of stuff on YouTube as well. I have a couple of channels on there. My first channel was really big, and it got hacked somehow and taken down. I don't even know what happened, but I had to start a whole new channel. So I think I was the second person to live stream paranormal investigations on YouTube and on my first channel, and it got really big. And then when it got taken down, I gave up on that, but I started 2 new channels and threw all my old videos up there. So I don't really do much stuff on YouTube anymore, but my stuff's still up there for folks to see. And you can see me all over Travel Channel, Discovery Channel, History Channel, Netflix now as well too. So just a lot of different things. It's fun. It's exciting to me, and I love doing what I do.
You said you actually saw a Bigfoot?
Yeah, so we were fishing, and it was right. We had got done. We caught our fish. We cooked them up. We ate them, and we were sitting by the fire. It was just before dark, maybe a half an hour before dark. This was in 1983. I was 13 years old, and this huge splash hits out in the middle of the river. We didn't see what it was at first. We jumped up because it made such a big splash. I would equate it to when a full-grown person does a cannonball, the splash that makes. It was equal, if not greater than that. So that startled us. We jumped up. We're looking around. We're like, what in the world was that? There was no other people around us. We were out in the middle of nowhere, one of our favorite places where we always go fishing. And after several minutes, we could not figure out what in the world caused that splash. So we kind of sat back down, scratching our head, talking about it. Man, what could that have been? It wasn't no fish that big. There's no way. We didn't see anything, fly and hit the water, or no rocks rolled off the cliff on the other side of the river. And the river's pretty wide right there. It's about 60 yards across to the other side, and the other side is very steep and rugged. And people just don't go over there, because if they would happen to slip and fall, they'd probably be dead or be severely injured, right? So after several minutes, we sat down, and then we heard like something come clipping through tree limbs on the other side, and out of the corner of my left peripheral vision, I saw this big rock, something a man would have a hard time getting his arms around, come flying up in an upwards direction and hit out in the river, and a huge splash hits again. So that's when we knew, okay, holy crap, it was a rock, and look how the heck did that happen? What the heck's throwing rocks at us that big? And my grandpa was a Baptist minister for 40 plus years after World War II. He was in the second wave of Normandy, and nothing scared this man. He was not scared of anything. And we saw this rock, the second rock, come and hit out in the river, and he starts yelling across the river, "You hoodlums, knock it off, or I'll shoot." So in his mind, he's thinking that's people doing that to us, trying to scare us or whatever. And as soon as he got done saying that, the most god-awful roar, howl sound comes from that side of the river. It sends chills down my spine to this day. And I had nightmares about it for years, because you got to remember, I'm a 13-year-old kid, and the sound that this thing made just reverberated down the river canyon there. And you could feel it like when you go to a concert and you feel that bass reverb in your body. That's what it did to you. That's how loud and guttural it was. Wow. And, he shot over there. He went and got the old squirrel gun out of the tent, ran over there, got it, and he starts cracking off shots. Well, at this point, we don't see what in the world we're dealing with. It's over there in the brush and stuff, and you can't see anything, but the trees and stuff are shaking, and this thing is just tearing down the woods over there, raising all kind of hell, just screaming and yelling. And I'm terrified. And after he shot 3 or 4 or 5 times, I don't even know how many, he yells at me, he goes, "Get to the truck, boy." So I run to the truck, which is about 20, 30 yards from us. And I'm cowering down, peeking around the front bumper, watching all this go down. And then that, whatever that thing is, it starts moving up and away from us. And you can trace its path through the way the brush and the trees are shaking and moving. And that's when it came out into a clearing, and I saw it from the waist up. It was a massive creature covered in blackish brown hair, and its shoulders were so big that its head looked tiny on top of its body. And it was just pure muscle. You could see the muscle in this thing through its fur. Well, it never looked back at us, or at me. I never saw its face or anything like that. But that's when I saw my grandfather running towards me, because he must have saw it too when it came into the clearing. And he snatched me up with one arm, opens the truck driver's side door, and slings me through the truck cab. And I always tell people that if the passenger side door would have been open, I would have went completely through the truck cab. That's how hard he threw me in the truck.
Wow.
He jumps in the truck, says, "That's not of God, son. We're getting out of here." And he fires the truck up and tears off out of there. Now, mind you, getting down to where we were is like 2 or 3 miles of rugged dirt road. And he's just gunning it up out of the mountain, up out of the river valley. And it was scared me to death, because on one side of the road, it's like 100-foot cliff. So if he would lose control, we're going to die that way. Or if the truck breaks down, I'm scared to death the creature that we just saw is going to get us and kill us, because this thing would crush a human like a bug. This thing was massive. And so,
about how tall do you think that thing was? If you could,
it had to be at least 7 feet tall. I mean, at least.
Wow.
So we finally get up out of there, and he drives around on the regular road for like 15, 30 minutes. I don't even know, not saying a word. I'm shaking, crying, scared me to death. And he pulls off the side of the road finally. He said, "Son, we better not tell nobody about this. They're going to think we're crazy." So I kept it secret all those years, but at the same time, back in those days, we didn't have the internet. So I had, I wanted answers. What was it that we saw? I've never heard of anything like this. What in the world was that? And I started going to the local library and the school library, looking for anything I could find. And slowly but surely, I started finding magazine articles about the Yeti and different creatures. And, it fascinated me, because I knew I had seen something similar to this, right? So then I saw the show In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy, the old show, and they happened to be doing a Bigfoot episode. And I was like, that's what I saw. That's what I saw. And it just kind of, it just resonated with me that, man, I want to know more about this stuff. And then, I started doing my own kind of research as a very young man, and didn't start investigating until later on. But when I was 16, 17, 18, I started delving into doing some EVP work and stuff like that. But that's how it all began for me. And it really set me on this course. So all through my working years, even when I was in the military and in law enforcement, I started doing investigating people's homes and for hauntings and different things like that, because it was all word of mouth. Somebody knew somebody who was having some weird stuff going on in their house, or somebody knew somebody who saw something in the woods by their house, and they say, "Hey, I know a guy that does that," and then I would get a phone call, and that's how it all kind of began for me.
Yeah, cool. Eddie, I'm going to bring Eddie up here. Eddie, you got a question for Dave?
How like the rocks? You said they were like boulders?
Yeah, they were like massive, like something that we would, like any one of us would have a hard time getting our arms around,
I picture like a bulldozer ball, like something like that.
What?
Like a bulldozer ball? To demolish a building?
Oh, like like one of those demolition balls?
A wrecking ball.
I don't know if it was that big, but it was, something really good size. We didn't see the first one in the air. I only saw the second one, and it was very big rock,
Hey, he picked
and
them up.
you got to
like
remember
nothing?
too, I was only 13, so everything looks bigger to you when you're a kid. So it was something that was massive to me,
About how far did he throw it? Like,
it had to have been 30 yards or more.
wow.
because it came in an upward direction through the tree limbs. That's how I saw it, because we heard it clipping through the tree limbs like something, chunked it, and it hit some tree limbs, and then I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and it came out in the river, and just a massive splash.
And that was just the one sighting? You've never seen it again?
No, but I've had, of course, I've been in the woods many, many times. Now, after that happened to me, I didn't go in the woods for about 7 years, and I grew up hunting and fishing in the woods from the time I was 5 years old. It took me 6 or 7 years to get the courage to go back out in the woods.
Yeah.
Not the same place. Did you go to the same place?
Not for many years. Now I've been back there numerous times, but I don't go in the woods without a big firearm on my side. Trust me.
How about your grandfather? Did your grandfather ever see it again?
No.
Just that one time?
No. Now, I found out through talking to other relatives of mine in the same general area. One of my great uncles was cutting firewood probably a mile or two away from that same area, and he saw one, and he almost cut his leg off. Like, he tripped backwards over the log when he saw it, because it was standing there watching him as he's cutting firewood, and he fell over the log, and his chainsaw almost cut his leg off.
So these okay, so a lot of people will say that first of all, I was hoping you saw the face, because we kind of know somebody like this, but you never saw the face, right?
Yeah.
You just saw the back, the back.
I just saw like it was quartering up and away from me, so I saw like this whole side and its back.
Well, I guess you can't identify the one that we know, so we'll move on with that. We have Richard. We actually have somebody that's infatuated with Bigfoot. We call him the Bigfoot hunter.
We have an in-show Bigfoot hunter here.
And he's got a question that says, ever been touched or scratched? And I don't know if that means by a Bigfoot.
In the paranormal, yes, I have numerous times over my 30 years. I've been scratched 3 times, and I had a really weird incident happen at a location called the Rhodes Hotel in Indiana, where it was an old brothel owned by the Chicago mob back in the day, and I stayed in this place for over a week with another friend of mine, and we were upstairs. We had a public event earlier, and there was like 20 people there, where we took, instead of charging tickets, we took canned food items, and we donated it to the local food shelter as payment. So we were doing a live feed of the investigation, and the people downstairs were able to watch what we were doing. And he was in the bathroom. It's a huge bathroom this place had. It was massive. And he was doing what we call a ghost box session, and I was filming him with the camera, and I went in there to take another piece of equipment, and so he could use it. And when I went to set it down, I kind of bent down and set it on the floor next to him so I could get it on camera. It's a static meter. It lights up if it's picking up any strange electrical charges that shouldn't be there. And when I bent down, I felt this wave just go right through me, like this energy, and it was really ice cold, and I almost passed out from it. And I kind of stumbled back and got really dizzy, and I was like, whoa, what was that? I never fell down, never hit my head on anything, and I kind of put my hand on the wall to catch myself. He's like, what happened? I said, I don't know. Something just went right through me, and I don't feel good. He goes, you don't look right. You better go back and sit down behind the camera. So I did that, and while I'm sitting there, I kept feeling like when you go down to a basement and there's cobwebs and you get them on you, I kept feeling this cobweb sensation like all over my head and stuff. And it just felt really gross. And I was filming him, and he started asking the ghost box questions. What'd you do to Dave? And this crazy voice came through the ghost box, said, I hit him, just like that. And he's like, oh yeah, what'd you hit him with? And he said, a shovel. And it was really bizarre. And then he said, well, what's your name? Who are you? And he said his name was Ian, right? So it was getting really threatening. It was threatening to kill me. It was like, it was going to kill you, pig. Well, I was in law enforcement still at the time, and it was saying all these derogatory terms towards law enforcement, like calling us pigs and everything else. I'm going to cut your head off and all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm going to stab you. And so he just shut the ghost box off. He goes, well, we're not going to listen to that negative stuff. We're going to shut this down. So long story short, we went back downstairs where all the people were watching this feed that we had on, and they were like, that was crazy and this and that. And I felt that cobweb sensation on my head again. I went like this, and I had a big knot on my head, and I had a gash, and I was bleeding. And I was like, holy crap, what is this? And everyone was like, what? And, what happened? I said, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. And what we figured what happened was it really was able to punch through to our reality and actually hurt me. And it said it did it on the ghost box. So, and the weird thing was, the next day it was all but gone. So normally when you have these paranormal incidents like this, if you get scratched or something, they go away really quickly. Wow. And everybody saw the whole thing live. We had multiple cameras on. I didn't fall down. I never hit my head, anything like that. And it was totally 100% paranormal related. And then the kicker was the very next night after all those people left, we were downstairs because we stayed there for a week, like I said, and he was doing another ghost box, and the same voice started coming through, this Ian character, whoever he was, and started saying stuff again. And then my buddy that was with me, he was like, well, we're not going to take that kind of stuff. You don't need to be attacking us or whatever. And the thing got really PO'd, and it started threatening him. And then within a minute or two, he's like, dude, my back is on fire. And I said, don't move. Just turn around and back up right to the camera. Excuse me. And he had a long sleeve Under Armour shirt on, another T-shirt on over that, and it was tucked into his pants. So I just pulled up his shirt in front of the camera, and there was these 3 ginormous scratches from his left shoulder all the way past his belt loops in his pants, and they were raised up just ready to bleed. And this thing had threatened him as well and was able to physically leave marks on him. And then he had to go outside, and he started dry heaving like he was going to puke and everything else. And he was on camera the whole time, so these things, it's really unnerving when you realize that something that can be that powerful that is able to reach out and physically put marks on you, and it's something you can't see. It's pretty unnerving when stuff like that happens.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. Wait, hold on. What do you? First of all, is there paranormals out there that are creatures or whatever that are out there that try to stop people from doing podcast shows?
No.
I'm just
no, those creatures are very much alive.
Because we may have to hire you to, because we have some of those out there, and if we do, we know.
Yeah, I come to this, guys, as a pure skeptic. I come from a law enforcement investigative background, and but like I said, I had my own experiences as a young man that really set me on this course. But you try to debunk anything and everything when it comes to this, but there's just that's why they call it the paranormal. It's the unknown. You can't replicate it with the scientific model. So it's fascinating when you're in like an old haunted asylum. You're the only person in there in the entire building, and you're using a digital recorder, and you ask a question and you get a factual response to that question. It's how do you explain that? You just can't explain it. So it's the unexplained, it's the unknown. It's fascinating stuff, and that's why I do what I do.
What
Dave,
about the people? Eddie, do you believe in this, Eddie?
I kind of do. Yeah. Do you think those people do you think they're in between two worlds, or they have unfinished
there's all
business
kinds
here?
of ways you can run with this. Some people feel that spirits, human spirits, I'm not talking about entities, something that doesn't have a soul. I'm talking about human spirits. Some people think they come back and forth, or they're trapped here, or they have unfinished business for some reason, or they died in some kind of tragic event and don't even know they're dead. So their spirit or their soul, or whatever you want to use, what terminology you want to use, is still here thinking they're alive, and they haven't crossed over or began their next journey, their next soul journey, so to speak. So, there's all kinds of theories out there, but no one really knows for sure. There's no way to prove it one way or the other. So, it's fascinating stuff, really, when you think about it. And it's somewhat, like I said, 3 of man's greatest unanswered questions. It's the final frontier. But that's why I do what I do. The journey getting there for me, I love the history of these old places, the history of the events that took place at some of these locations, and I love when you get some really truly unexplainable evidence that you can back up with factual information. You get names on these ghost boxes that you can actually look up and verify. Yeah, a person named this was actually in this asylum back in 1919 or whatever the case. Just as a hypothetical example. But there's so many things out there, and I really like to look at the Native American aspect of things because they were here 10,000 years before we ever were. And when it comes to Bigfoot especially, there's rock art and cave drawings that date back for 10,000 years, and almost every single tribe has a Bigfoot type of creature in their folklore and in their oral traditions that they pass down from generation to generation. And they drew pictures of these creatures in caves and on rocks all over the world. So, it's kind of hard to argue with that historical factual data, and that's how they don't have a written history. It's all oral, or anything that is written from them is all done on caves and rock art. So when you look at it from that aspect, it's pretty fascinating that all the tribes have a Bigfoot type creature in their oral traditions.
I was this Bigfoot thing. We've talked about this in the show before, and like you said, they made it come from years and years and years and years ago. Why, if there's big feet running around, more than one or whatever, how come nobody's, with the technology that we have,
right?
Nobody's ever seemed to at least corner one or not even capture one.
Unfortunately, with today's technology, there's a lot of fakery that goes on with CGI and whatnot, right? So I feel some of the things that have been captured are legit. But here's the thing. So many people have fake things. Now everything's fake, because you've got all these people out there investigating and researching Bigfoot, right? So they want to be the guy that captures the all proving evidence that, okay, Bigfoot exists. So when someone else may have captured something that's legit, all these other people rush and try to debunk it and say it's fake and everything because they want to be the guy. So there's been a lot of video and a lot of pictures captured that over the years that are probably legit that have been deemed as fake because there's a jealousy factor there. And unfortunately, you'll have that, and until someone actually finds a dead one or something like that, then, we're just going to be left to hearsay, and that's unfortunate. But, there's lots of theories out there as to what these creatures may be. Nobody knows for sure. That are they the missing link between man and ape? Are they the ghost of a long dead extinct ape species? Are they extraterrestrial? Some people feel they're extraterrestrial. Some think they're interdimensional. The natives call them their big brother of the woods, basically. So what are they? I don't know. I'm not going to proclaim to know, because if I did, I'd be lying. I know what I saw was there. It threw big rocks at me and my grandfather, scared the living crap out of me, and changed my life. So, I've been doing this for a long time in all aspects of the paranormal. I'm not here to try to change any minds. All I do is say, look, this is where I was, this is what I was doing, and this is what I got, because it's like religion and politics. Unless you have your own experience, you're not going to buy into it, So it's pointless for people like me to try to change people's mind. I can show you, okay, I was here, this is what I was doing, check out what I got, make up your own mind. I do this for me, and I also do it to help people, because some of these hauntings that I deal in are very negative in nature, and I'm trying to help these people get back to a normal life, live their life like they need to be living, instead of having to worry about, strange activities going on in their homes and their places of business or whatever the case. So the other stuff is fascinating to me, like the cryptids, Mothman, Bigfoot, so many other ones. And when it comes to that aspect, our planet, especially the oceans, is over 80% unexplored, and they're finding new creatures, new species on the planet almost daily. You know, it wasn't that long ago that the kraken, as we call it, or a giant squid, was thought to be a myth. But guess what? Japanese fishermen caught a 65-foot long specimen in their fishing net. So we know the kraken is real. In 2017, a brand new species of orangutan was discovered in Sumatra, right under everybody's noses. It was right there the whole time, and they said, "Holy crap, this is an undocumented species." And there's so many more. You can go on and on and on with it. So, you know, the possibilities are there for a Bigfoot type creature to exist. I know what I saw was real. Whatever, where it came from and what it was doing here, I don't know. Was it ET? I don't know. Was it the long dead extinct ape species that's still living? I don't know. But, you know, that's what I do. That's what I'm trying to do. Find an answer, a piece of the puzzle.
So that's Eddie. I'm going to pull Eddie up for a question, but that's what started it all. You saw something that was unreal to you. There was something that shouldn't have been around in your eyes.
The old
like
timers, the old timers used to say, "Don't stay in the woods after dark because the wood boogers will get you." Right. So we thought they were screwing with us, but it turns out they really weren't. Man, there was some truth in that story, and that really scared the hell out of me too. Because we, you know, when you're a kid, you don't listen to your parents. Sometimes you get in trouble, right? So we'd stay out, you know, in the woods at dark and hear there's stuff running around out there that you don't know what it is. So we're like, holy crap, they weren't kidding, you know?
Yeah, they really weren't kidding that day.
Yeah. So, you know, and one thing in West Virginia too, when it comes to Bigfoot, man, it goes by many different names. Almost every county has a different name for these things. You know, you got the blue demon, the wood booger, the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, and on and on and on. So, you know, but essentially it's the same type of creature. And it seems to me all around the world that they're just like people. There's red ones, there's black ones, there's reports of white ones like the Yeti, there's yellow ones. You know, they have different colored fur, they're different sizes, different shapes, different facial features. So, you know, what are these things? You know, it's fascinating to me.
Eddie?
You said you heard it screamed or yelled, or can you? What did it sound like? An animal, or did it sound like?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was definitely animalistic, but it's unlike anything. If you ever hear one, it will blow your mind. It's the most powerful, deep, guttural howling sound that you've ever heard in your life, and it's downright scary because, especially when you're in the woods, things echo really loudly. So, you know, and I've been out on hunts for Bigfoot many times, and I'm working on my second book about Bigfoot here in West Virginia right now. But, you know, you'll be out there in the woods. Now, I've heard other things. I haven't seen another one, but I've heard things. You know, you'll hear the coyotes out there yelping and stuff, and then you'll hear this far off, just really powerful howling, guttural thing going on, and everything just shuts up in the woods. And it's really a spooky feeling, you know, when you're out there in the middle. And I go out to places, guys, where, you know, I hike 5 miles in and there's no houses for miles and miles, 50, 60 miles, and you're out in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, when you get out in the deep woods by yourself, it can be pretty hair raising sometimes, to say the least.
So it's a deep yell or howl,
yeah,
or whatever
it's
you
real
call it.
Deep and guttural sounding. But, you know, that's just what I've heard. There could be other tones of them I've never heard before, and I've heard other people's recordings of them, and some of them sound very similar. And it's just like this. I can't even describe it. It's just like and it's real deep and real powerful. And some people claim that they hear them chattering, like jibber jabbering, almost like sounds like people talking, but you can't make out what they're saying. Some people, you know, and they do these whoop sounds, and they're real high pitched too, according to some people. And I've heard some stuff like that, like especially in out in the Pacific Northwest, you know, up over there kind of by where you guys are at. You know, there's a lot of famous Bigfoot recordings out that way too that are just, I mean, if you're out in the woods and you hear something like that, it's downright freaky, man. It'll freak you out.
So hearing it live is a whole different thing than hearing it recorded.
Oh yeah, you know, we all have that fight or flight built within our bodies, and you know, I'm sure you guys have experienced this at some point in your life where the hair on the back of your neck or your arms stand up and you get kind of freaked out. Well, that's your built-in defense mechanism to say to get the heck out of Dodge, and when you hear something like that, that's exactly what happens. The hair on the back of your neck stands up, your arm, you're like, holy crap, I got to get out of here. And you want to get out of there. I mean, you just want to leave because it's so, you just know it's an ominous type of situation. It's just hair raising.
There's a comment. Eddie, you want to read it or you want me to read it from Richard?
I got it.
Let Alberto read it.
Richard says, ask him about the guy who claims he shot and killed Bigfoot. Justin is his name.
Yeah, there's like I said, there's a lot of hoaxers out there. If you did that, where's the body? And then that one guy who shot one and supposedly had one on ice, and turned out that when they drilled down into it, they got the DNA off of it. It was like some other animal carcass and whatnot. So because there's actually it wasn't even that long ago, there was $1 million reward for a killed Bigfoot, so. And there's been many people that have claimed to shoot one. Like one guy said he shot one and he knows he hit it, and it was fairly close, like 30, 40 yards, and no way he could have missed. And he shot several times and it didn't even affect the thing. So what are these things? Are they supernatural? What are they? ETs? We don't know, because over the years in my research too, and talking to other investigators, there's many cases out there where there was a rash of strange lights in the sky, and there was also a rash of Bigfoot sightings in the same area, or vice versa. So, we don't know what these things are, what they're doing here, and, whatever. And, like I said, if you talk to the Native Americans, most of them feel they come from the stars. You ask them where their people come from, and they'll tell you, and they point up, and if you put two and two together, and they say that these creatures are their big brothers or the protectors of the woods, they may feel like they come from there too. So we don't know. We just don't know at this point.
Interesting. Alberto, you got a question? Any paranormals?
No, I just would like to know, how do you handle like true skeptics? Like, everything, nothing is real. This is all made up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not here to prove anything to anyone. This is my journey. I share what I do with people because they love it, and people are fascinated by it. And I don't need any proof. I know what I've experienced over 30 years of doing this stuff. I know this stuff is real. There's spirits around us all the time. And, as far as creatures go, I know what I saw when I was a kid, changed my life. But how do you prove that to someone else? You can't, unless they have their own experience of some sort, then it's just left up to, okay, you either believe me or not. And people know my reputation is solid. I don't pull any punches, and I'm not going to sit here and argue with a skeptic. It's a waste of my time, because I can show you all the evidence in the world, but unless you really truly have an open mind, and you have to have your own experience of some sort to even buy into this. It's like, I also, I have these conversations with church folks. My grandfather was a Baptist minister for 40 years. He wouldn't even talk about the Bigfoot sighting we had together. After, to him, that was the devil. It doesn't say it in the Bible. So if you talk about it, it's demonic to him, and he didn't want anything to do with it after we had that whole experience.
That was going to be my next question. I was wondering if you and your grandfather ever talked about what you guys saw.
I tried many, many times. He's like, nope, we don't talk about that, son. It just brings it closer. That's the devil. That was his answer. And it was so frustrating to me. So I was left to my own devices to try to figure out what it was I saw, and that's how it all began, like I said. But, so church people, preachers and priests and everybody else, so many are skeptics, but I also tell them, okay, I said, what's the greatest ghost story ever told? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, what's the greatest ghost story ever told? And they don't understand what I'm asking them. And I said, the Holy Ghost, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. That's the greatest ghost story ever told. That's a ghost story, guys. I always ask them, I said, you ever read the book of Ezekiel? Yeah. I said, it talks about all all this stuff in there. Talks about a fiery metal wheel that came out of the ground. What is that? That's a UFO, man. It came out of the ground and flew away in the book of Ezekiel. That's a UFO. I mean, it's all in the Bible too. People just don't put two and two together. They don't have an open mind. We're not taught these things because, in my point of view, in my belief system, a lot of our true history and a lot of the things that we're supposed to know have been hidden from us because church is all about big money. It's all about control, money, and power, guys. I mean, it really is. And a lot of the things that we are really supposed to know, we're not told because it's all about controlling us and scaring us. So, if you don't do this a certain way and you don't pay this amount of money to the church, you're going to burn in hell. To me, that's just not true. That's not the real word of God. That's not, if you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, Jesus said, if you turn over a stone, I am there. And that's how I believe. God and Jesus is everywhere. It's right here in your heart. It's everywhere. That's the true word of God in my point of view. So, and I have these debates or discussions with a lot of these people, and a lot of people nowadays are coming around to to this a lot more because it does talk about this stuff in the Bible, and the Bible is man's interpretation of the Word of God. Doesn't mean it's all 100%. Some of that stuff's been changed and manipulated over many, many generations to control us, and it's all about money, power, and greed. So unfortunately, that's the way the world works.
Very well said. Yeah.
Dave, have you ever been scared, like
to
the point where
yeah,
to the point where you say, I'm not going to do this no more? No.
There's only been a couple of times where I was in the middle of an investigation and it felt so dangerous spiritually and physically that I rolled out of a place. And, it was, there was no need to stay there anymore because we had already documented things, and it was something so negative or evil feeling that we were just like, you know what, let's just get out of here because this just does not feel right. And over the years, the more I've done this, I can literally pretty much walk into a place and feel the energy now. Like you can feel if it's happy, sad, mad, evil, or whatever. And sometimes these things in these locations can literally change just on a drop of a dime, from feeling normal to something very ominous is in the room with you or in the house or in the whatever location you're in is in there with you. And you can really, if you tap into your body's own ability to feel and sense these things, sometimes you can actually just feel the energy change and you're like, yeah, this is not good. Let's get out of here. But that's only happened to me a couple times. And true demonic hauntings are pretty rare, pretty few and far between. But there are those locations out there that are just, they've had so many tragic incidents in them, so many, like suicides, murders, deaths, whatever, that, and I'm a firm believer that those type of situations, those type of tragedies, really, that energy stains the very ground that those buildings are on or the actual building itself. And it's very hard to get rid of that stuff. It's just so layer after layer after layer of just horrible incidents like that. Like some of these old insane asylums, people suffered greatly in those things, and that energy is there forever, so to speak. So, we do what we can to try to cleanse them and take care of them with clergy and whatnot, and try to get that good energy back in there, but it doesn't always work. It just is what it is.
Very, very cool. Can you tell everybody once again how they can get your book and how they can find you on social media and websites and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I have 7 books out now and many more coming. You can go to Amazon. All my books are on Amazon. Just type in Dave Spinks, Paranormal Investigator. Yeah, that's the new one he's showing there. That's the West Virginia Dogman cover. You can go to Amazon, like I said, and all my books are on there. Type in my name and they'll pop up. And other people's books I've contributed to as well. And then if you go to my website, DaveSpinksParanormalInvestigator.com, you can see all the different TV shows I'm on, some of the documentary movies I'm in, and whatnot. So I was on the show Unexplained on History Channel, multiple episodes, season 1 and 2 with William Shatner. I was on the Discovery Channel and a whole bunch of was multiple shows on Travel Channel, Ghost Nation, In Search of Monsters, Paranormal 911, a whole bunch of them, and more coming. So,
Very cool. Eddie, you have a last question or well wishes for our guest?
I mean, how different is the investigating from your law enforcement officer? Is it fact based, right?
Yeah, good question. That's a great question. I do I utilize my training and everything I've had over my life to
Mhm.
and use it in my paranormal, investigations. The who, what, where, when, why, and how. Basically, those are the questions I'm trying to answer as I'm investigating. It doesn't always work that easy in the paranormal, so. But let's face it, people are convicted in a court of law based off circumstantial evidence every day in this country. So basically, when we're doing paranormal stuff, that's what we're getting. We're getting circumstantial evidence. Now, some of it we can back up with factual information because there is information out there that Joe Blow, 38-year-old, died in this place back in 1919, and we can verify that, and get evidence on a ghost box or a recorder of supposedly maybe that person communicating with us. So when we get them to say their name and first and last name and or whatnot, just as an example, then you can go back and search records and say, oh wow, there was a guy named this here at that time, and we got it on a recorder, we got it on a ghost box, so it's pretty fascinating when you get stuff like that.
Okay.
Very, very cool. Well, Dave, you know what? Very interesting stuff. And I was going to say, for people that don't believe, there's nothing that anybody can do, investigators or anything, to change their mind. Like, unless what Dave said, unless you've been involved in it, witnessed it, all he could do is show you what evidence he's come across. He's gathered. And that makes sense. I mean, I could sit here and go, you know what? Yeah, I believe you, or I don't believe you. But if it happened to me after we got off the show, I'd be like, oh, nobody's going to believe me.
Well, I guarantee you, each and every one of us, even you guys, if you haven't had your own experience, somebody that has had a bizarre experience that they can't explain. So, your grandmas and all the old timers, they talk about it. If you listen to them when you're a kid, you're like, whoa. I guarantee you, sometime in your lifetime, they told a story that, man, this one time, we saw this or, whatever. So, it's fascinating stuff. Like I said, I'm retired and I do this because it's a hobby gone insane. I love it. And it's just, it's fascinating, and I like to help people. So if I'm helping people, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So
I have one more question before we get out of here. Are any of these things that you've come across, do they draw cartoons or anything, or are they artists? Or I'm just you never know, right?
I haven't seen that personally, but I have seen some other people's stuff that they'll put some paper down and a pencil, and they leave the room and they come back and there's some marks on the paper. How did that happen? So what's going on here? So I mean, there's different ways, just little things like that you can try. That you got to think outside the box when you're an investigator, when you're trying to deal with spirits and whatnot. You're looking for some kind of proof that there's something there that you cannot see that can do physical things, right? So you try different crazy stuff like that. There's an old one that I love. They used to put powder on the floor. So
I'm starting to believe now. I'm starting to believe now. Hey, man, I'm in it.
It's fascinating stuff, It's the unexplained, and I love it. So, like I said, look at other people's stuff and make up your own mind. Go out, maybe go out sometime and do one of the public events with a team and see how you feel, and maybe you might have an experience. You never know.
Cool. I'm going to see if I can't get one of your books. If I send it to you, maybe you could sign it for us. Or,
sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Be happy to.
I'll check out Amazon and check out your latest book. What's your latest book called again, Alberto?
The West Virginia Dog Man.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we've witnessed one of those. And now that we've had you on, I know we have.
That's one thing I do not want to see is a freaking werewolf that's 9 feet tall. No.
They've also, do those, the drawing the creatures, do they also, put messages on Facebook? Make comments on our show.
Are they on Facebook too?
Don't worry, Dave. That's an inside joke with us. If you don't get it. And by the way, give a nice pet to that creature that was hanging around behind you.
Oh yeah, well, I was gonna say, Dave.
Okay.
While we're talking about it, there's something behind you that's.
That was my cat.
I thought that was a dog.
Well, there was another one we could see on that glass behind you, kind of hanging
Oh
up there.
yeah,
I thought it was a gargoyle or
crazy,
something.
man.
It looked like a hyena. Do you have a dog too, or was that the big cat?
It's a big cat.
If Bigfoot had a cat, that would be it.
Damn, how big is that cat? Is that a?
I'll show you.
Jeez, that thing looked like a dog. I mean,
Like
the size
panther.
of a dog. Oh man, let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that guy. Yeah, okay, all right.
What's his name?
That one's my daughter named it Cutie.
Oh,
I got two of them. I got that one and a black one, solid black one.
Very cool. Richard wants me to get him a
I
book
used
too.
to have dogs, but I'm gone so much I can't take care of them. You know, I mean, I'd have to put them in the doggy hotels or something. That gets quite expensive.
Yeah, Richard wants the book too.
Yeah, maybe we'll send you a couple books. Richard, the guy we call Bigfoot Hunter, he's really into that stuff. Maybe we'll send one, and you could sign one for him too. And
Oh, sure, absolutely. I have books out on hauntings, and I have books out on cryptids and UFOs. So a lot of my stuff right now is, based off my investigations in West Virginia and my research. But I've done stuff all over the world, done stuff in many different states. I actually grew up in New Mexico, so I have a lot of stuff that'll be coming out in the book about New Mexico as well. Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, just all over the place, Iowa. So, I've done stuff for a long time, many aspects of the paranormal realms. So
very cool. Well, you're a friend of our show now. Anytime you want to come back or you got something to promote, let us know and we'll get you on.
Sure, man. Appreciate you guys having me on, man. I love talking about this stuff, and we can go, if we do another show, we can go into particular topics, if you want. So
yes, yeah. You got. I wish we had hours and hours of show. We could go through it all, but unfortunately, we don't. But we get that leaves us to get you on another time.
Yeah,
and we can go through other stuff too. So
absolutely,
it was awesome talking to you. Very interesting. We'll keep in contact and keep doing what you're doing.
All right, brother. You guys have a good one. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, be careful out there, will you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye-bye, Dave.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Dave Spinks, paranormal investigator and author.
Interesting stuff.
And I'm very proud of Alberto today.
Why?
For jumping in
Interesting
there, asking
stuff.
questions, and I liked it. Made me very happy. Look at everything he said before the show to me. I don't even care anymore. I'm happy.
I made up for the beginning of the show.
Yes, he did. So hey, they draw. Holy mackerel! Hey, he said it right. He said they leave a piece of paper and a pencil there. Come back and there's some little bit of drawing.
Or he hit the marks, but
I wonder if it started the adventures.
They drew on rocks. So they drew on rocks and stuff. So
no, those were the natives.
Yeah, that was. But I think he was talking about later that he actually said what the piece of paper, right, and a pencil.
Can you imagine though? Can you imagine like you're fishing and then all of a sudden this big old boulder just comes? Guys throwing boulders 30 feet.
I would think it's Richard. Hey, you know what, guys? I'm gonna play.
We didn't ask him about him. Bigfoot, jumping fences with hogs and.
I was almost going to. I wanted to. I was going to say, is that possible? But the way he said thing was gigantic.
If that guy's throwing, if that creature's
if he can throw boulders
30
for
yards.
30 yards, I'm sure he can pick up a goat, no problem.
A goat, a hog, Eddie.
Or whatever.
Oh, hey guys, you know what? I'm going to play a commercial because you know what that means.
You need to take a piss.
Oh, here we go. All right, we're gonna play our sponsors commercial. I'll be right back with the guys.
How long is it going to run? Because I have to go too.
1 minute and 10 seconds.
Fine.
So we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, an original.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark from Shark Tank. Supernaturals by Natural Wonders uses the finest natural ingredients to enhance your glow. This is clean beauty refined.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay.
asshole.
What?
Motherfucker, you set me up.
No, I didn't. I was putting my headset down and
I'm
it
glad-
hit the
yeah.
mouse.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't take down my pants. What a hell of a show there.
Oh no, nobody want to see that. nobody want to see that. Sorry, Alberto. No, what happened is I played the commercial and I took my headset off and I put it on the table and it hit the mouse, so it shut off the commercial and
Get yourself a hook on that side of the table.
too much. Let me see here. Richard always trying to get something free, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That guy doesn't miss out, does he?
If you're listening to the podcast, just check the show description. I'm going to put a link to that book, the West Virginia Dogman, and from there you can get all Dave's other books.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
No,
Dog the Bounty Hunter. What are you talking
Dogman.
about?
Oh, Dogman of West
Oh
Virginia.
my gosh.
We'll have him later on.
Let me see here. Halloween costumes. Hey, do you think there should be? You think Halloween costumes that are offensive or distasteful are wrong? And what would be distasteful costume to you?
It's just the whole shit. If you're white, you can't wear a sombrero or something.
What? I don't know what would be distasteful. I don't. I don't see.
Okay, offensive, distasteful, or in today's age, what would it be? Race? Not politically.
Like if you're white and you dress up as Pancho Villa or something, that's wrong. Or
if you dress up like a Mexican,
if you're
a white person,
if you're a white girl and you want to dress up as a geisha, you can't do that. Or you're Mexican, you want to dress up like a geisha. Or
there's some examples right there.
Yeah,
Eddie, do you got an example?
Every Halloween,
do you have an example?
As of the last 10 years, all of a sudden,
Like if you're white, you can't dress up as a Aunt Jemima or something like that.
Like a black person.
Can't dress up as First Peoples of the United States. Can't
But
say the I word anymore.
I see Halloween most. I think
what is that?
Halloween is about ghosts and stuff. So if I think you dressed up as a ghost and
we'll be very careful because there's another group that kind of dress up like ghosts and
the KKK. Eddie, come on now. What's the matter?
Don't put any kind of crosses on
ghosts and the witches and like that. That's
Well, and it's also you would dress up as firefighters and I dress up.
They made it so it's not scary for some kids, they do things that are like movie stars or superheroes,
Captain America.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be scary, Eddie. It's
changed. Batman and Robin.
So Eddie, tell me, what is it? Aunt Jemima is your politically correct?
That was Eddie's costume for Sunday, and now he can't wear it, or Monday, whatever.
For Sunday?
No.
Monday. Sorry.
Monday.
Oh, you're gonna be Aunt Jemima?
No.
Oh no,
Mrs. Butterworth.
Okay, what is a would that be called offensive, or that's just a politically correct deal?
I think it's a politically correct deal now.
Okay, so how about distasteful? What about a distasteful costume?
That would be, I don't know, has anybody died, been murdered recently, and you dress up like them? It's stuff like that, like
Richard Ramirez or Ted Bundy, or something like that, like a serial killer. How about Silence of the Lambs?
Well, I think a lot of people are dressing up like Dahmer this year, Jeffrey Dahmer. So,
all right, is that?
But to some people that they find that distasteful.
Eddie,
that or like if
I guess I don't.
I'm trying to think of some kind of famous murder victim that you dress up. Like if I dressed up like
a victim,
like if I dressed up like
Selena,
Ronald Goldman, the guy OJ killed with Nicole, like if I did something like that, like put like a big old cut mark on my neck or something, that's kind of what distasteful would seem to me. I think to a lot of people.
But how are people going to know who you're trying to be?
So it's the victim. It's not the actual. The actual person who did. Like if you dressed up as OJ, would that be distasteful?
So that's what people go. You're kind of, that's not right. That's kind of distasteful. I think what about Dahmer? The other problem is the PC thing. Like if I dressed up as another race. If I dressed up like a Chinese man,
If I
you
dress up
know,
as Bigfoot, would that be offensive to somebody?
Bigfoot isn't a protected class yet. You know, they don't have power in Congress or in the media to destroy your life.
I don't know. Yeah, you could dress up as a Bigfoot. I guess that's okay. You just
Yeah.
can't. You can't.
Remember, it's are they protected? And if they're not, you can dress up as them. That's why you can dress up as a witch. You know, and they don't have any power. Give it a few
I guess
years,
not.
maybe they run the media, and then you can't dress up as a witch anymore.
Yeah, and it's like, people dress up like Jason and Michael Myers and stuff, but in the movies, he's fucking killing the shit out of people, slicing throats, banging them against walls.
Well,
I mean, I know it's a makeup.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, it's a makeup thing, but still, he's very violent. He's a very violent person. But just because it's not real, it's okay to dress up as somebody who brutally massacres a whole town. Just because it's made up, it's okay. But to dress up as somebody like Dahmer or who's another serial killer? Ted Bundy,
Richard Ramirez.
Because they did the same thing that people are portraying a makeup story. Eddie, what do you know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
What's the difference? You're
don't-
basically writing this. These movies come from a lot of these serial killers, that they go, well, this is what they did. Oh, let's make a movie. We'll create a villain, and he'll do the same things, but we won't name him that name. But we'll
based on a true story.
Based on true stories.
dress up as Charles Manson.
Yeah, there's another one.
What do you think that would go? Well, you see, it's been so long. I don't think, unless the people are still alive that he killed or he had killed.
Yeah, no, I was into another podcast and they were talking about this. Like, you don't want to do like Dahmer, the victims' families. They're still alive. Like if one of your loved ones got killed by a serial killer, and then you go out to a party and somebody's, you kind of if you're gonna dress up like that, it's not, there's kind of an honor. You kind of find that person interesting or something. Just like if you dress up as Freddy Krueger or Jason, you like that character. I mean, you're not going to go out there and kill for real, but I mean, you think that person's cool. But I mean, if you dress up like Lizzie Borden or something, something from way back when.
Who's that?
You don't know Lizzie Borden, Steve?
Lizzie Borden.
Never met her.
I mean, that's what did she do? Kill a whole family or something, or kill her family? But it's
She
like
killed
way
her.
back in the 1800s. I mean, there's nobody.
She killed their mom and dad.
Never
I
met her.
mean, maybe there's some like third generation family who have no.
Allegedly, she was found not guilty, but how she did it,
or if I dressed up as Jack the Ripper, I mean, actual relatives who knew the victims are not around anymore.
Yeah,
but you dress up as Dahmer, that's. It's always the thing they say, when it's too soon to joke about something, it's too soon to joke about.
If you dress up like Michael
somebody
Jackson,
dying
or Prince or something.
it depends who's looking at it.
Just don't dress. Just stay home. There you go. Solve that problem.
Just leave Halloween to the kids and let them
Yeah.
dress up as firemen and ghosts and clowns and all whatever.
I think people should dress any way they want because, like, let's say somebody dressed up as
Dinosaur.
Michael Myers or something, and they just don't like violence. They're not going to like it. They're going to say things, and they're going to,
Mhm.
but you don't mean no harm in it. I'm sure the same people that wear these Dahmers or these real serial killers, I don't think I would hope, don't mean anything by it, just being stupid, I guess. And it's not being stupid. You're being something scary for Halloween. That's what it is. That's what Halloween's supposed to be. You're supposed to be out there scaring people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Which
mean?
reading?
So, just when I do a show, my messages go off like no tomorrow. But then when the show ends,
I thought we had some creature sending comments.
oh no,
That creature's in the other realm today.
I guess so. Let me see here. Okay, I have a Halloween urban diction, not urban. What do we do when we used to do the M25 show? Urban dictionary of sex acts.
Hmm.
Well, we have a couple for Halloween acts, Eddie. Okay. Well, I'm going to read one for you.
Oh boy.
This one's called the Mexican Halloween. Okay. Straight, that's what it's called. It's a sexual position in which the man is taking the woman from behind, aka doggy style. While he is wearing a sombrero, she is wearing the Mexican flag tied around her neck, and he's holding it like reins. And he is screaming "Andale," and she's screaming "Bueno."
Eddie finds this offensive.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm just reading it. I wasn't involved in this, Eddie. So, anybody watching, I did not partake in any of this. I thought it was kind of funny. How about the gorilla mask, Eddie? Have you ever heard of the gorilla mask act that you can
No.
do on Halloween with your loved one
Put a bag over her head.
that you have sexual relations with? Huh?
No. Put a bag
Eddie said,
over her
put a
head.
bag over. Yeah.
It says, when you know you are going to have sex that night, so you shave your pubes beforehand and set them aside. Then you come on the girl's face and throw the pubes on her, creating a gorilla mask. So, these are the Halloween tricks for the adventurous.
Or Eddie shaves his pube every day, so he doesn't have any.
Oh, no. Is that why you go to the barber twice a week? Damn. One for the top, one for the bottom. I don't know. I can't get in there, Eddie.
He's gonna walk away again.
Don't do it, Eddie. Don't
I was in the
leave.
barber shop one time, and some guy was getting his back shaved. Like,
Oh,
No.
I swear.
did you
He
watch?
better leave a good tip. I mean, I think that's above and beyond for a barber.
Yeah, I had never seen that before.
Well, now you have.
Well,
Shaving
I
his
mean-
back with one of those
With the
those stick
clippers.
razors.
With the
Oh,
clippers.
okay. I thought they were using that old style barber razor.
No, the straight razor.
Yeah.
No,
Put the
No,
hot
yeah.
towel on the back.
You sure it
it
wasn't Will?
well, his
Might
back
have
was
been,
turned, so I don't know.
Yeah, Eddie didn't see the face.
Oh,
I didn't see the face.
Eddie had a Bigfoot sighting, like our guest. You just saw the back.
Yeah, he was getting his back shot. I had never seen that before. It's kind of disgusting, but
What'd you do? Just watch?
I was on my phone. I just
So you should take a picture like Steve.
Did you record it?
no, I didn't record it. I didn't want to see that.
Send it to
Seeing-
America's.
Seeing it live was bad enough.
What was the guy doing? Was he giggling or anything? Or
No, he was like nothing. Like, see
Normal
you in 2
haircut.
weeks. See you in 2 weeks.
Damn, that fast.
maybe he should have had it waxed, pull it straight from the root.
God, that-
Yeah,
I mean,
a Brazilian back wax.
Oh, that would have saved him about a month. It would take about a
Yeah.
month for those to grow back.
Do they still
Mhm.
do electrolysis? When they zap the might as well
I'm sure they
that.
do. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I
they
would.
do.
I
They
would
do.
think they would have something more advanced than electrolysis now. That,
Lasers.
Yeah. Laser,
Oh,
maybe.
so because I remember the electrolysis, they said you go in for a treatment. You got to
Mhm.
go in for like multiple treatments before it's permanently gone. Like you go in, then you come back when it starts to come out again, and then they zap it again. They do it like
Yeah.
3 or 4 times until it's actually kaput.
mhm.
So you think they would have one now where they zap it and it's just dead? Then there's no
lasers.
chance.
I know lasers. They do now.
So Eddie, since it's Halloween, I have some insanely creepy movie facts you probably didn't know until now that I'm going to tell you, Eddie.
Okay, let's hear it.
Have you guys ever remember that movie, The Poltergeist?
Yes.
Yes.
The original one, not the remake.
Mhm.
Well, it says the corpses in the rainy poltergeist pool scene were real skeletons. I don't know if you remember that when she fell in the pool.
Mhm.
You guys remember that? I don't.
I
Well, they
kind of
were-
remember the scene.
It
They
says
were
they were
real?
real. They're real skeletons. So I guess if they were skeletons, yeah. What do you?
Wow.
I guess
there's-
real. Where can you get
I-
skeletons from? The grave? Do you ask to borrow
Okay.
them or what?
Cadavers, I guess, if you donate your body to science at some point, they use you up and they can't use the bones, so they sell them.
I wonder if
There
there's
was-
a thing on your driver's license. You know how you can donate your organs? If they
Yeah.
say if you want to donate body parts to horror movies,
Just donate your skeleton.
yeah, just donate the body.
Well, there was a rumor in Disneyland when they opened Pirates of the Caribbean. all the skeletons were real because they didn't know back then, way back, whatever, the 60s, how to make like really looking skeletons. And I think there's one scene, there's some skeletons on a bed headboard that allegedly are still real ones. All the other skeletons are fake now, but those
I didn't know that.
And you can tell when you look at them and you look at the other, prop skeletons, you can tell a big difference. I wasn't there in the 60s to right in the first, when they first opened, so I really don't know.
Those are the good old days.
Yeah,
when they had to improvise, they did the real thing.
Well, have you heard about the bodies exhibit, which is like, I guess it's like real bodies. They like skin them or something like, and they display them. And I think they've said that like, Chinese peasants are like, they sold them or something to the people.
Oh, you mean for reals?
Yeah, like it's supposed to be actual,
I went to an exhibit about anatomy where they showed skinless, or they had the skin so they could see all the muscles and stuff. I don't know if that was a real body.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like
you didn't touch it.
Either
well, no.
give it a high five.
No,
shake his hand. Hey, thanks for volunteering. They usually say it's either like people, they donate themselves, to the medical school, so the doctors or students, they can practice, pulling out a heart or something.
And then they do this. They put them on display for everybody to see.
The more macabre, they say, if you're homeless and you die on the street and they don't know what to do with you, man, they just hand you over.
They compost you.
With all the rest of the bad beef. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
I remember it, but I don't think I ever saw it.
Okay, well, Gunnar Hansen, who was Leatherface, accidentally cut Marilyn Burns' finger in the dinner scene because he was exhausted and could barely see. I guess you'd have to watch the movie to know.
Not so much scary as, sad.
I guess he really cut her finger up. Anybody know about Candyman? Or I don't even know how to say that. Candyman? No?
Yeah, I remember Candyman.
The Conjuring?
The Conjuring? Yeah, I saw that movie.
The Candyman says in Candyman, Tony Todd had to fill his mouth with real bees.
Oof.
I don't remember. He had bees in his mouth? I don't know.
I'm guessing special effects weren't good back then.
Oh, they wanted to really get into the character.
Oh, jeez.
Were they dead?
No, they're alive. There's a picture. They're alive. They're coming out of his mouth. Ugh. I never watched that. I wasn't a Candyman fan, so I don't know. Eddie, you said you watched it. I don't know. I'm going by what you said.
I watched The Conjuring.
Okay, after the first day of filming The Conjuring, Vera Farmiga found 3 unexplained claw marks on her skin.
Oh,
that's like that dude, huh?
That guy, yeah.
From our guests.
Got hit in the back of the head.
And then his buddy, remember he had he said his back was burning, and he lifted his shirt up and he had the big scratches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Oh, here we go. Everybody remembers The Shining, right?
Yes.
Shelley Duvall, who played Wendy Torrance in The Shining, said the amount of emotional distress from filming was excruciating and unbearable.
Well, I heard that Kubrick tortured her, made her life miserable.
Yeah, she says, I resented Stanley Kubrick at times. I thought, why do you want to do this to me? How could you do this to me? Well, it's part of the story, I guess. No.
Yeah. You heard about the psycho shower scene that what was the actress name? Janet Leigh or something?
Yes.
That they're doing it right, and for Hitchcock, the screen wasn't good enough. So in the one take, like the one that made the movie, as soon as they do the knife thing, he hit her with ice cold water, and then she screamed for real. Some of those old directors. I mean, they actors weren't protected back then.
Yeah, well, they got to do it to make it good, right? To make it real.
Like you believe that scream when she screams and she's getting stabbed. She's got to know she's being hit with ice cold water.
Here's another poltergeist. While filming Poltergeist, Oliver Robbins, aka Robbie, the little boy, truly got choked by the robot clown doll It wasn't until he turned purple that Spielberg realized what was happening. You guys remember that little clown? That clown, the arm reached out and wrapped around his neck?
Yeah. It's been too long since I watched it.
It's a robot. Come into the light.
I think that's enough of that.
You've heard the story that I guess I don't know if it's a rumor or something that like a lot of those people in Poltergeist, they either died early or had like accidents.
Yeah, I heard about that. There's with a lot of the actors, right?
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter was based on an actual killer, Dr. Alfredo Bailey Trevino, who had the same mannerisms Anthony Hopkins portrayed in The Silence of the Lambs. There's a real one out there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, here's what Alberta was just saying. And multiple actors from the Poltergeist movies died tragically either during or after the filming.
During the filming? Wow.
I
Man,
guess
lost
so.
one.
Dominique Dunn, who played the older sister in the first movie, was murdered right after it first premiered. 2 others died along with the little girl who played Carol Ann, who died at 12 years old from cardiac arrest.
Damn.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't know she died of cardiac arrest.
At 12? Wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I heard that she died of, when I don't know what it is when when girls they start getting their periods, right, for the first time, and then they use tampons or whatever. If they don't change it, they get some kind of
septic shock or something. I think.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but I didn't know she had a cardiac arrest. You see, that's what you do when you listen to the show. You learn things.
Change your tampons.
Well, yeah, make sure you do that. That's for sure. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see here. I do got a date for our Christmas show, Eddie.
Do you?
Mark your calendars, people.
Yes, we're gonna our Christmas show. We didn't have one last year or the year before.
We had one the year before, not last year.
Oh, we did?
Then
wasn't the pandemic like 2 years?
2020. I forget about 2020. 2020 we had like a big show. I remember it's like the first time I set up my computer. I was trying to play music in the background. That was 2020. 2021 last year. I think we were going to come back the next week and we just didn't. So it was like a half-assed Christmas show. Oh,
did we have any? Oh, so it wasn't really.
Actually, I remember the creature being on the comment saying, "This is the Christmas show." I'm all, "Yep, that's what you get this year." It was a lean Christmas.
Oh, I went because things were going. I think we were just getting back on track from all that nonsense that was going on. So this year, hopefully, we're gonna have a good lineup, and it's gonna be good. So just what did I say?
December 22nd.
Thursday, December 22nd, from 9 to 11. Could go a little shorter, can go a little long. Eddie, it's just one day for Christmas, Eddie. You just please stick it out, please.
Gonna be out of town that week.
You're gonna be here. You're not
hey,
going
don't worry, Eddie. You can do it from wherever you are. Do it on your phone.
Oh, heavy, Eddie.
Eddie's more of a Thanksgiving man.
Yeah.
I wish there was a trick or treating for hot chicks underwear. For guys, for guys that don't want to give up trick or treating.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be kind of different?
Go to the nudie bar and get that.
Yeah, you can do that at a nudie bar.
Yeah, you can trick or treat. I want your underwear.
Eddie, Eddie does more things than we know.
Toss it from the stage, right into the bag.
Yeah,
Richard
right
says,
into the bag.
Crystal Lake. He wants to go to Crystal Lake. Is this the real Crystal Lake he's talking about? Is this in California?
I think he's talking
there's
about.
There's a Crystal Lake up in the what's it called? It's up in not Joshua, in the National Forest, in the forest.
In California?
At the Angeles National Forest, there's a Crystal Lake up there.
Is it the Crystal Lake?
No, I don't think it's the Crystal Lake, but there's a Crystal Lake up there.
Crystal Lake Campgrounds up in Azusa.
Yeah.
Is it the real, like the one they
I think the one in the film I think is in Chicago or something.
Chicago?
Is it Chicago? Oh, maybe it's, I don't know. I thought Chicago, but maybe it is New York.
I think it's somewhere back east where they set that movie.
Yeah, it's either New York or Chicago or something. But there is a Crystal Lake up in The
But it's
Angeles
not the
National
real
Forest.
one. It's not the real one. I don't want to go
Yeah.
to a fake. I want to
don't
go to the
believe-
real deal.
I don't know.
What do you mean real deal? Real deal as an actual
Where
real life, or
where-
the actual where
where
Jason's
they-
running around?
Where they filmed the movies, or at least one of them. I mean, unless they just put a sign everywhere they filmed. I don't know that it's Crystal Lake.
That's usually what they do. I mean, they take a real lake and they just give it a fake name.
I'm sure there's got to be one there's got to probably be a tourist attraction where they filmed one of them or something, right? There's got to be.
Yeah,
It's a famous name.
Most-
I mean,
All
God.
right. So according to Google, most of Friday the 13th, a classic horror film released in 1980, was filmed in Camp Nibobosco, a Boy Scout camp site around 100 miles north of Philadelphia.
he made that up.
No.
Neil is that? Neil Bobo?
Nibobosco. No Bibosco. Sorry.
Here we go with
N-O-
the racial slurs.
Nobo. No. Man, this thing give me a seizure. Nobebosco. No Bibosco.
No Bibosco. No Bibosco.
Say it in Spanish.
No, say it in Spanish, Alberto.
I'm not going to say it in Spanish. The 387-acre camp opened in 1927, making it the oldest continuously run Boy Scout camp in New Jersey.
Okay, so it's in Pennsylvania? Or you Philadelphia?
New Jersey. I guess, north of Philadelphia is New Jersey. So basically, it's right across the river. I've been there. You can just look across the river and you see New Jersey.
So that is where they filmed most of it, or what? The first time?
Well, I'm going to assume that's where they filmed the outside scenes and the camp scenes. So.
All right. Well, Richard, he thinks that's the one in Azusa. I know it because it's local for him.
Like that one is actually named, Crystal Lake, but
it's not the real. It's not the real deal.
It's not the filming location.
Okay, Richard, I hate to break your heart. He's been going there for years, thinking he's been at the real campground.
He gave up on hunting Bigfoot. He's hunting Jason.
Yeah, I think he's trying to hire Jason to hunt Bigfoot with him. That's what I think. Oh,
you remember that Jason movie when they're in space?
Yeah, Jason 10, Jason X. Yeah, I watched it.
When he freezes the one girl's face and that was a liquid or whatever.
Oh yes. Hey, I watched it. I liked it. I like all that stuff. I like.
You gotta watch this movie for fun. I mean, you're not getting a cinematic masterpiece there. You're just there for a fun ride.
Yes. You know what I wanted to tell you before? I was talking about the Christmas show, right? When is it? December 22nd.
Yes.
Okay, it's gonna be a Thursday, Eddie. Now we're gonna have some cool guests on. I'm already working on it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. I'm really excited, Eddie. Don't worry, we're not gonna do the Stefania thing because we already know what she does. So I don't want to do that to you again.
She's not welcome back anymore. She broke Eddie's heart.
Yeah, she messaged once. Well, how come you never have me on the Christmas show again? And I don't have the heart to tell her. I don't have the heart to tell her.
She ruined Christmas for Eddie that year.
Yeah, it's like that guy, our guest, when he first time he saw Bigfoot, how he was scarred for life. That's Eddie. What's Stefania?
People don't know Eddie. He right after a show, he threw out the Christmas tree, threw out his kids' presents. Kids are crying. Like, Daddy, why? It's like, there's no more Christmas. That's actually why we didn't have. That's actually why we didn't have a Christmas show last year because Eddie was still suffering.
We just canceled Christmas like the Grinch.
Yeah, but it's been 2 years, so I think
she might be single. Well, maybe we'll see if she's single, Eddie. We'll have her back on. That way, we don't have no interruptions because we don't want that again.
Yeah,
I felt bad because Eddie had his beanie on. He was having a beer, and he saw that his face just sunk. And I was like, "Oh man!"
The Christmas show had like another hour to go, but we cut it early because Eddie couldn't handle it.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I remember she was taking her clothing off and throwing it at the screen. Eddie was all happy. It was everything was perfect.
And then the other guy comes in and just smacks that ass.
Oh my gosh, that's not good. Well, hey, Eddie, you know what? Maybe they broke up. We'll see.
You win some, you lose some.
It's been 2 years, Eddie. Who knows what happened?
You never know.
Or maybe it's worse. They're married and she has a kid. She comes on, she's holding the baby.
Oh no, we bring her on. She doesn't tell me any of this, and she's got 6 kids. 6 kids in 2 years.
Wow. Triplets.
Two sets of
Triplets.
Yeah, he blasted.
they're all
He got her good.
They're on the strollers next to her.
She's the new Octomom. Oh man, that's too much. Well, everybody, mark your calendar. December 22nd is our Christmas show. We're gonna be back on it, doing it right. Last 2 years, last year was no good. It's just we had to get back on track. Was it the year before was good, or we won the year before? No,
2020 was good. I promise. That was a big
was that
show.
the one? Was that the one with Stefania?
Yeah, that was the one with Savannah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that was.
It was a good show for everyone but Eddie.
That's right. Yeah, Eddie, it was a really good show. I'm sorry that happened, but I mean, it was. Other than that, it was good. We had a lot of cool guests.
I agree.
You have nothing to say, huh, Eddie?
Nope. I think you set me up.
Eddie, do you want to invite somebody on special that you want me to get in contact with? That
No.
Maybe
That's
any
a nice
pen
cup,
pals or anything.
That's a nice cup you're drinking out of.
Oh, thank you.
What are you drinking? What is it? Let me see, Eddie.
Water.
Let's make Steve mad.
Drinking water.
Sapporo?
Oh, it's a SoFi cup.
Oh, Rams?
No, it's
No,
a
just
SoFi
stadium.
cup. It's a stadium.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys are buddies now. Best buddies, I hear. I forgot to bring this up. So now Eddie and Alberto
No,
are
I wasn't here next week.
Eddie's
No, last
they're
week.
like best buddies. They go to games together now, and they.
Yeah, we did a Dodger game and a Rams game.
So that's pretty good. I'm happy for you guys, and
I would have
yeah, we
invited you, Steve, but your Chiefs are playing the Bills. I mean, that was a big game for you.
you would have invited me. You had an extra ticket.
No, I just want to have invited Eddie.
Oh, you would have invited me instead of Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see how it goes, Eddie.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be out.
Yeah, Eddie and I
Somebody's
went to a
out.
Dodger game, so
I'm glad you guys are
I-
spending
I-
time
I-
together.
I was going to invite Alyssa, but I'm sure she's hanging with her man. So
They never know. Who knows? Maybe she was sick.
Oh,
or he was sick and she had nothing to do.
All right, guys. We're gonna get the heck out of here.
Ask your ticket contact if she give up the Raider game on Thursday.
Huh? You talking to me?
No,
Oh,
I
it's
was talking to
Alberto.
me. Where I got my tickets.
Oh, okay.
Probably not.
Thursday night Raider Rams.
Just ask Alberto. You never know unless you ask.
Yeah, just
Dave Spinks. We want to thank our guest who was on earlier.
mhm.
Go check out all his stuff on his website. Is it davespinks.com or is it paranormalinvestigator.com, Alberto?
I did not write down that information.
Okay, Eddie, you always write stuff down.
I think it was just Dave Spinks.
Dave Spinks. It's not
Mhm.
paranormal investigator. Just Google Dave Spinks,
Yeah.
paranormal investigator, and all his stuff will pop up. I'm sure websites and books
Mhm.
and all that. And he's wrote a lot of books. He has a new one out right now. Go check it out.
The dog beast. Was it the dog beast of
The dog man, the
Dog
werewolf,
Man
the werewolf of the dog man or something.
Dog
like that,
Man
right?
of West Virginia?
Yes. So go check out his stuff. Very interesting, right, Eddie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We'll have him
interesting
on
stuff.
Have him on again, and we can go through more of that paranormal stuff. We kind of concentrate on the Bigfoot a little more, but I don't know. Like I said, I can't see how nobody's caught that thing, but he made a point. He's all, everybody says they caught one, and then it gets to the point where they're like, yeah, somebody might have really caught one. And they thought they were crying. So many people cry wolf. Somebody probably has a real one now. He's living in their home, drinking beer,
Mhm.
like Harry and the
that.
Hendersons.
Yeah, I was going to say they never do a show about that.
Yeah, he's probably telling the guy, "Hey, look, they could probably really talk." He's all, "Hey, they're not gonna believe you, man. Just let me stay here rent free.
Yeah.
You got your own Bigfoot now.
Yo,
Don't worry about it."
I'll go into the back and they'll bring back some hogs for dinner.
Yeah, what do you want? Bacon? I'll get you bacon for a year. Come back with 2 fat hogs under his arms. Oh man. But anyway, go check out his books and his website. He's got videos up and all that. He says he has a YouTube. Check out his YouTube. He doesn't do too much on there. I guess he lost it or something. But
He has all this old stuff.
yeah. But he's got a lot of stuff on there, so go check him out, and we'll be back next week.
December 22nd. Right?
Oh, we're gonna come back right on the Christmas show. Wow.
Yeah, we're off to prepare.
Yes, after the Christmas show, we're going on vacation. I'm letting everybody know now. I'm even letting you guys know, Alberto and Eddie. We're going on vacation for a little while.
That's nothing new to me. We do that every year. So
All right, because
news would be if we were coming back on Christmas.
If we just weren't coming back at all.
Or coming back, or that too, yeah.
So we'll be back.
The creature gets its wish.
Oh, here we go. Eddie, you have any updates? Any sightings?
No, I've never seen a creature.
Any cobwebs on your head?
I've never seen a creature.
Eddie, if you get hit by a shovel, let us know. All right, we got to call. We got to call Dave. Dave, help us out. Oh boy, this is too funny. Happy Halloween to everybody. Have fun.
We'll be back next week, I guess.
Oh, what is that? A haunted house?
Stay safe.
Hold on, let me see this real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Haunted house right there. All right.
Unbelievable.
All right, guys. Eddie, you know what? Get into the holiday spirit, man. What's the matter with you? I get enough of this at what do you call that place?
Fortress.
Yeah, it's very bad over there. That's the haunted house right there. I go to a haunted house every
If
night.
Dave walked into that place, he'd run out there screaming.
Oh, talk about I'm gonna. You know what? We need to hire Dave to go to that place. Bring his meters and all that shit. All this shit he uses.
Dave Spinks
He's gonna probably go. You know what? This place is demonic.
is haunted.
It needs to be
The
shut
portal,
down.
The portal to hell.
He's. I know about the demonic stuff. I really don't like. There's not too much of it, but here, now I know where it all is. It's right here.
Bigfoot's probably there, up in the attic.
Probably got all of them. Aliens, Bigfoot, the
Dracula.
Mothman. All of them are there.
I'm playing
Godzilla.
poker.
Like that dog picture.
Yeah, they're all playing poker up in the attic.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys next Thursday, same time, same place.
Alrighty.
Until then, everybody have fun this weekend. Have a good Halloween, and we'll see you next week.
Everybody,
Bye-bye.
Wang Chung.
Memories in high school flames. Some good, some bad. Can you remember their names? Light up a smoke on Pomona Street with the long hair rockers. Oh, the memories. Classic cars, big tits and bars. Drinking all night like rock and roll stars. When I play that song, don't it take you back?